Welcome to the 2022-23 Fantasy Premier League football season. These videos will document my attempt at breaking that 100k barrier for the first time since starting playing FPL, with the overall target of reaching the top 90k. Let's start off by looking at the bench. First up, we have Sanchez for Brighton, coming in at 4.5 million. Sanchez is quite a popular pick, but I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous now Cucurella and Yves Bissouma has left Brighton this season. The defence could be a bit weaker than we've seen in the past. Next up, we have Neco Williams for Nottingham Forest. He comes in at 4 million, which is really helping almost a third of FPL managers as he is so highly owned. Williams impressed last season on loan at Fulham in the Championship. Next up is Andreas Pereira, who recently signed for Fulham from Manchester United. Coming in at 4.5 million, Andreas is another popular pick. The attacking midfielder should get plenty of game time early on, with Harry Wilson out injured. We could see him on set pieces. Completing the bench, we have Cameron Archer, 4.5 million from Aston Villa. The 20-year-old has recently signed a new 5-year contract at Villa. Stevie G appears to have confidence in the forward, and now with Premier League teams able to make 5 substitutes, I can see Archer getting plenty of sub appearances this season. Now let's move on to my starting 11. First up, we have Danny Ward, £4 million Leicester goalkeeper. Ward will battle it out for Everson for the starting position after Schmeichel has left the club. Injury could be the thing that holds him back. I believe when fit, his experience will win out and he will be the number one for Leicester this season. His fixtures will rotate nicely with Sanchez. Trent Alexander-Arnold is next. There's not much I can say about this guy. He's the best defender in the game, and he's owned by almost 60% of all FPL managers this season. Next up, Cancelo for Manchester City, £7 million. He's the best defender at the club, and left back or right back, he loves to get forward and get involved. Next up, Robertson for Liverpool. He comes in at 7 million, only selected by 13% of the game, despite being one of the best defenders. Next up, Zinchenko for Arsenal. Arteta signed the Ukrainian from Manchester City this summer. Having worked with Arteta before, he now has a real chance of regular minutes. I think he's going to be a big success at Arsenal. Moving on into midfield, the big decision was between Saka and Martinelli. From a footballing point of view, I think I prefer Saka, but as an FPL asset, Martinelli just edges it. He comes in at £2 million cheaper, and his predicted points are very similar to Saka. Pedro Neto is next up. The young Portuguese player was injured last season and battled to come back towards the end of the year. Now that he's fully fit, he now has a chance to show the world what he can do. He is a very talented player, a great attacker, and Wolves are going to need a player like this. Mason Mount comes in at 8 million. There's been lots of talk of whether we should or shouldn't have an £8 million midfielder, but in the end I've opted to go for one, and it is Mount. I don't like the game week 2 matchup against Spurs, but at this price point I can get off of Mount and jump on Foden, Mahrez or Grealish for City's game against Bournemouth. And here he is, king of FPL, Mo Salah. You can't say anything against the guy. Yes, most expensive player in the game, but definitely the best player in the game. Jesus is another player that Arteta handpicked from his former team, Manchester City. It's clear that Arteta wants players that he knows can win, and he knows can lead the team. Despite not always being played through the middle, Jesus had a great record at City. Now at Arsenal, I'm expecting bags of goals from this guy. Harry Kane is my next big spender. Son had a fantastic season last year, but I really expect Kane to be that star man this season, having had a full pre-season under his belt working with Conte. And not only that, Harry Kane takes my captaincy for game week 1 against Southampton. I expect a couple of goals and maybe an assist for him this week. So there we have it. This is the squad that I'm going to open the 2022-23 season with. I'm looking to wildcard around week 8 to week 9. So hopefully this team will get us through the early stages of the season without the need for needless transfers or indeed taking hits. Good luck to all of you this season. I hope you achieve your goals. Speak to you again soon.